Hi, my name is Regina, and I'm doing this video to show a lady on Facebook how to groom her Yorkie. I am not a professional groomer. I groomed my Cocker Spaniels when I was showing them in the confirmation ring, and then I groomed them afterwards when they were just pets, and now I've been grooming my Yorkies ever since I got them because I don't trust groomers at the grooming places. And I had everything I needed to do my own grooming. So I'll go over a few things that you're going to need. You're going to need a good set of clippers. This is an Oster A5. I've had it for years. If you take care of it, it'll last forever. You'll also need a size 10 blade and a size 7 blade. I use the 10 blade to groom their neck and their head, and I use and their tummies and the insides of their legs. And then I use a size 7 blade, which has the prongs further apart, to groom down their back and the sides to give them a skirt. You'll need a pair of thinning shears, a pair of small curved scissors with the little rounded points like that so you don't poke them in the eye and put their eyes out. You're going to need a brush that has the softer bristles on one side and the horrible little stainless steel bristles on the other side that most of the dogs just hate. And you'll also need a comb. You're also going to need some blade wash and something to put the blade wash in. I just use a to-go canister and then I toss it away. And that's pretty much it to do the grooming. Alright, I'm going to pause this and I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back. This is Dexter. Say hi, Dexter. This is a little rescue that I got when he was 8 months old. Sorry, y'all can't see me. And he is now 6 years old, and I've been grooming him since I got him. He's been to the groomer maybe twice, only because I was sick and he desperately needed a bath, and I was very disappointed when I got him back. So, let's get started. You'll remove the collar. I leave his ponytail, and yes, he's a male, and yes, he has a ponytail. But he also has little eyebrows that I cut. Instead of pulling all the hair straight back like most Yorkies, he has little eyebrows that I like to cut. So, to start with, now I'm going to turn on the clipper, and it's going to make some noise, so I hope you'll be able to hear me. So I sit him down, and I pull his beard up out of the way, and I start right above his, I guess it's his breastbone right here, and I go against the hair, and I go straight up. I stop right before I get to the head. You can see right here. That's right under his beard. And I go against the grain all the way up to about the same place on both sides. Now I like to pick the hair up as I go, and oh dear, I didn't bring a bag. And I usually put it in a bag, so I guess it's going to go blowing. Alright, so the next thing I do is I hold his ear out of the way. And I groom up the side. Now, if any of you professionals out there are watching, remember, I did say I'm not a professional. I didn't go to grooming school. I just taught myself. I've just taught myself. Okay, let's do the other side, Dexter. Okay, kind of doing this a little backwards there. Let me turn him around a little bit. Turn around, baby. I have him sitting on a shelf liner so that his feet don't slide out from underneath him. All right, so pull his ear out of the way. Now you have to be careful that you don't end up cutting the hair off of the ear. And I go up to right behind the ear. This is just how I like to do it. And because I have his ponytail pulled up, anything that's going to go in the ponytail is already up out of the way. Now the last couple of times that I groomed him, I cut too much off the back of his head, and so I'm letting it grow out. I think you can see this right here. Move his ears out of the way. So I'm letting that kind of grow out. Now I'm going to hold his ears out of the way. Now sit up, baby, sit up. Come on, sit up. Turn around. Sit. Good boy. All right, so I'm going to hold his ears out of the way and finish up on his neck, and I come up right behind the bottom of his ears. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. That's where I go. So right at the ear, the bottom of the ear line is where I go. All right, so I'm going to change blades to the 7 blade. And you just press, there's a little button on the back, you just press it and release it. And you put your 7 blade on. See, there's a little slot for it to go in. You just slide that in there and click it down. Now, he is more comfortable laying down when I do this, so you have to be a little more cautious as to where you're cutting. Now, because he has so much coat, I do a reverse 7 on him, which means it's going to be a little shorter than if you did a regular 7 cut, which you would go from the head to the tail. And if you go from the tail towards the head, it doesn't cut quite as short as a 10 blade. So it depends on how close of a cut you want. I just don't want him cut down too much, but enough that he doesn't look shaggy. Alright, sweetie, turn around. Alright, so I kind of find his little tail. He doesn't have much of a tail, and I don't want to take it off. And I just start and I go against the hairline. Sometimes it's like his hair is so thick, I don't want to cut the hair off on his tail. His hair is so thick, you might have to do it twice. But here again, I didn't want to cut too much off because we are having some cold weather. And if you kind of pull the skin back, your blade glides through a lot easier. Alright, so you can see that I have a line right here for his skirt. Some people take it down a lot further. Mine's right about here. And I just try to follow that line. And I go all the way up to the neck where I've already cut. And try to keep a straight line. And I get the hair off the rump. Once again, trying to keep it in the straight line. And I like to try to see where I am. And from this vantage point, I think that might be okay. Okay, so I'm going to finish up at the neck. And I just blend it in to where I cut off with the 10 blade. Whoop, there goes all the hair flying. Alright, now, I take and go just a little bit down on the shoulders and the neck, and I don't push hard. I just do a very light touch to kind of blend. This helps blend it in to the other part of the coat. Keeping an eye on the time here, since I'm going kind of fast on here. Okay. All right, baby. Let's see here. Let's turn you around. All right, so you can see what I've cut here and what's still there. He still has a lot of hair. I think you can probably see all that hair there. So I'm going to kind of hold his skin back and go from the rump to the front. The rump to the front. And I just keep following that line. Now if your blade is clean, you won't have any streaks. And if you do have a few little streaks, you just go over them. And just keep pulling the skin back. Keep it taut. Dexter, stand. Good boy. Good boy. You're a good boy. And brush it out. And let's see here. Looks like maybe I've got it straight, I hope. Hope y'all can see that. So there it is after. See? And I need to come up here. I hope y'all are able to see this. This is really probably my first video on how to, so excuse me. Alright, so there's the other side. Nice and neat. Not hairy. I am going to come back to Dexter, stay. You can't see that. Trying to keep an eye on the camera. Alright, so see where this hair is right here? I need that to straighten that up. See how it is? So I'm going to come back to his tail. I'm not going to take it off his tail. And get it off his rump here. And then I'm just going to kind of blend it. Okay, so that's pretty much, I think, all I'm going to do. Now I'm going to switch blades real quick since I've got all that done. And I'm going to put my 10 blade back on. Let's see here, Dexter, let's turn you around. Show your hiney. Hopefully y'all can, let me back this camera up a little bit. There. Okay, so I'm holding his tail up. And I'm just going to trim down and clean up where he's around his little hiney where he does his potty and go all the way down. Now he's been neutered, so he has no testicles. I know, baby. And I'm just cleaning this area up so the poopy doesn't stick. Just kind of make it look good. Brush it off. And see how his hiney's nice and clean there. Now this little bit of tuft that's on his hair, on the end of his tail, and as you can see, he doesn't have much of a tail. I just take my thinning shears. I don't take it off with the blade. I don't want to run the risk of something getting nipped off because I can't see it. I can feel it, and I just use the thinning shears to kind of pull that hair out and feel where his tail is, and then I just carefully use the thinning shears to get that extra hair off. Now, a lot of people do blending with their thinning shears, but I guess because I got away from so much of it, I had a heavy hand with the thinning shears, and I lost getting points on my cocker because I thinned too much. Now I'm just doing a little thinning right on the top of his tail to take some of that extra hair off. Alright, hopefully you can see his little tail now. Let me get this a little bit off the tip. And you just gently use those thinning shears to get that hair off of there. It's just a lot safer. Okay. Whew. Dexter, you had a lot of hair for just having a haircut about 6 or 8 weeks ago. Okay, and just keep brushing that cut hair out of their coat. Now, I don't keep their legs cut down. I like the look, and I get a lot of compliments on my dogs, and I had a professional groomer that didn't know I groomed and said she really liked my grooming. Where did I get it done? And I told her Regina's grooming shop. She said, where is that? I said, in my backyard. So, alright, so that's his body. See how nice and neat he looks now? Now, for his legs, I may be running out of time for posting. I scissor his legs. I scissor his legs because I like to have the fullness on it. I keep the coat cut up off his feet. You can probably tell that. See, it's just barely above. Now when I trim his feet, I pull all the hair down like this, pull it up, and then I take my little round scissors, and I just trim the bottom of his paws carefully. You don't want to cut their pads. And I trim the hair, kind of pull the pads, kind of push them back towards your palm, and then trim that hair off. And comb that out. I did brush him a little bit yesterday, so he's not really tangled. And then I just take the scissors and put my thumbs up to the base of his paw, the back of his paw, and I trim off around the paw so it just is rounded around. Okay. And then if there's any more left, hope you can see that. Come on, Dexter, stay. I know, it's at the edge of the table, baby. Put your paw down. Okay, so, and then I trim each, oh, put your foot down. Come here. Come here. I have to hold a paw up sometimes, and then I just trim away from the bottom of the table. Hope you can see that. And I trim around, and trim around. You have to hold a paw up to make them keep their foot down. Okay. All right, so that's basically it. And then you just trim. You do the same thing with the ears. I put my fingertips right at the edge of the leather of their, that calls the leather, where his actual ear is, because I don't want to cut it. And then I trim the hair. I keep moving my fingers and I just trim the hair. I use that as part of his beard, so I don't go put your hand. Be very careful on the tips. It's very easy to cut the tips. And you brush the hair around and kind of pull it out. Make sure you've got the leather protected. And I do trim a little bit around the inside of this ear to keep it. Okay, so I'm kind of letting the hair grow on the back of his ear here because I cut it too short one time. But here again, that's up to you. how you want it done. Dexter, sit. Okay, sit up. No, you gotta stay seated. You gotta stay seated. Okay, so brush out his beard. All right, you can still see it. All right, so I brush his beard and I just hold his head up and try to hold the ear at the same time. Hold the snout and the ear and trim it. I kind of go down like that and trim the beard. Hope you can see. I guess you could go the other direction. Now this is, I may have to trim some more of that off with the clippers because that's still too much back there. Yeah, I missed it. Okay, but basically that's it. So I'll let you go for now. You'll have to comb this out and then get back up underneath where some of that hair got tucked underneath. Hope you can see. Let me go this way. That hair sticking out. And cut that hair down so that the beard is nice and even. I'm just going to snip this off. That's what I was going to use a 10 blade on, but I think I can just snip this. Okay, I know that might be a no-no in grooming, but anyhow, that's it. And that's the basics. So I'll let you go. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.